What's going on, guys? Oh, mercy. I may or may not have had to put my fishing pole up to come hang out with y'all. Oh, good to see you guys. Thrifty Angela, first in the house. Thanks for coming in. I heard something about wine, so I thought I would join you. Gracie's in the house. Happy Tuesday. Zeb is in the house. Good to see you, Zeb. Susan is in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We are. Busy. It's Tuesday. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Milo. Milo and me, I just watched a video where you mentioned for giving Lulu her, you were mentioned for giving Lulu her awning. Very cool. Floss is in the house. Good to see you, Floss. Hope you are doing well. Maddie does not like it when I talk loud, and it's a habit that I have. Everyone that knows me knows that. A couple of my children do the same thing. I don't know why. Maddie said, that's better, Mama. Vanderella in the house. Thanks for coming in, Cal. Just made some popcorn and I'm ready for the show. What's up, folks? Oh, that's me. I have wine, but no popcorn. I think I have popcorn in my van. I could, teleport to you somehow, maybe. HB in the house. I might have said that wrong. I am skipping around here. Dale is in the house, and I feel like we've got two Dales because this Dale I actually know. I met down in Quartzsite, and I wanted to make sure. So last week I checked on the channel, and for sure, because I saw my big butt in one of the videos. Helen says, welcome to the best virtual meetup in the interwebs. You are too kind. Skipping. Christine is in the house. Good to see you, Christine. Hey, Gracie, tell Jock his last chance to have puppies with Corey is passing him by. I'll tell you what, poor Corey. All right, Dale said, I think I got it and I know what he's talking about. That's always good when someone's talking about something and I know. Surf and Dodo's in the house, and I sent Kathy a photo a little bit ago, and in fairness to the rest of my community, I probably should share it with the rest of you guys. It may look familiar. Boom! Look at that. Now, if you look at the size of my hand, I feel like that would make a sandwich. Oh, man. I catch and release for right now. Pretty soon we'll have a fish fry. Couple weeks, maybe. Oh, I threw that lure in a couple of times before I got online here tonight. In between coats of polyurethane. So I'm covering there 3 days. Oh, they must be talking about the hospital. Guys, I'm just going to keep reading the comments, welcoming people in. If you guys have a question for me, put asterisk, a QQQ. It will kind of highlight it for me, not actually like in yellow highlight, but I'll see that easier. Annette Spantis is in the house. Good to see you, Nut. They are calling for nasty storms from Texas to Michigan, and we are smack dab in the middle. Matter of fact, Ryan Hall, y'all, is on right now, and you know when he's up doing his little 8-hour live streams that something's gonna happen. And he came up around 6 o'clock, and yep. Patricia just got home and ready for a great chat. So Patricia is our August client. She's one of our August clients, and she brought me her van probably about a week ago or so. Put a couple windows in it, a vent fan in it, and Sean and I really just tackled some projects in that van so that they could have a good summer and try it out. And you guys have heard me say this before. I talked to Helen about it yesterday. Living in your van for a little while before the final decisions have to be made, honestly, is going to save you from a complete remodel. I'm happy for the mistakes that I've learned, but I am super happy about my remodel, and it's very cozy in here. So Terry Short is in the house, and I'm here. I'm here. Thanks for coming in, Terry. Gary and Tussie's in the house. Hi, everybody. Gary has a new video up a couple of days ago. If you haven't checked that out, I'm scrolling. Hey, fam. Hey, everyone. Just got done with Mark's birthday party. Just in time for the live stream. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you. I know that you wanted me to sing to you. Everybody loves that part of the show. Good evening, everyone. Simple Life Seeker is in the house. Deborah saying hi. Mary's Life on This Journey. Happy Tuesday. No fooling wine. Good on you. I know. I will say I'm kind of like one of those baby drinkers. It's a wine cooler because I graduated in 1986. Do the math. So it's a wine cooler. It's actually, I think, flavored beer is what it actually is. It is Jack Daniel's Cherry Limeade because I am not woman enough to drink a margarita. I am just saying that hands down. Tim Augustine is in the house to confirm it. He was going to make me the best of the best with the best of the best ingredients, and I sadly had to decline. 42 eek. What is that? Greetings from 42 degrees in Michigan. Honestly, it's not real warm here either. It was probably too cold to fish, but it was a bass, so I feel like I feel like that was okay. The bluegill aren't really biting that good right now. Sunfish are not biting right now. CC Camper Lady is in the house saying hi. Patty A is in the house. Linda Barker, good to see you. I'll tell you what, our little Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Arkansas, Missouri, we have been pelted with storms, and it's nice to be sitting right now with not a storm. I got some patio furniture, a new set for when I'm working on their van, and it's got a little like fire thing with it, and really I've only got to use it a couple of times because it's too windy and rainy outside. Do you still recommend a no, and that was probably a pretty old video, and here's what I'm saying. I took 12 gauge wire and ran it to a rocker panel. It's a rocker panel. It's a multi-switch marine panel. And I used it for 4 years, and it was great. It really was fine. Although I felt like when my water pump kicked on, there was a surge of power, and every now and then, like, my lights would flash. And so the thing that I didn't like about it is those typically have voltmeters on them. And if you've got any switches on, like your fan, your water pump, the lights are on. And I'm that type of person that at night, the little bitty lights, I'm like, where's that light coming from? So I got rid of that, and I have got individual ones. I also like being able to walk in my door and hit a switch without having to climb in, come down the hallway and hit a switch. The 3-foot hallway. So I like them busted up. I can sit in bed, reach up and hit the switch. Those are the reasons I changed it. Now, if you're in like I've got a conversion van out here that I'm working on, and the way their van is set up, if they had a rocker panel with everything there, except for the light being on, it'd be perfect. One line, and then everything goes off from that. So it was nice. But, yep. Tight lines. That's right. That's right. So I don't like using the multi-panel. There's nothing electrical wrong with it though. It still is perfectly fine. It was 100% the lights and taking all that power to that one panel. I just busted it up. So Patricia said she is loving it, loving it, loving it. We did one of those electrical. Okay, we're going to record this. I'm going to mount my phone over here and I want you to focus on me and we're going to talk about this electric. And then I had her trying to answer some of the questions. And it's such a, I'm going to say, easy setup. But when you first learn it, it's like, no, if I want to do what, I do what. But imagine if you have like a full electrical system that involved even more complicated parts. So I love it. Sandy saying hello to everyone. It is freezing tonight and my water tank is empty. Do I need to open my gray tank? Both tanks are empty now. No. What you never want to do, Annette, is have a valve open or closed and it's freezing and you try to open it because it will burn up. And I think it's called an actuator. It's just like in your car. If your windows are frozen and you've got the defrost on and you think, oh, I probably can roll my window down and just get the ice off. No, because those mechanisms are frozen. So when you try to do that, that window's trying to roll down and then it comes off the track. And you can create some problems. So if you do not try to open it or close it when it's frozen, you're good. You're good. Just like a battery, you don't want to open it or close it or charge it when it's frozen. Let it be frozen, let it unthaw, and then try to charge it. Somebody already got an ad. No way. I've got them set at the 30-minute mark, and I'm going to quit talking at about the 28-minute mark. So I'll tell you what, there's no control over YouTube. They do what they want. Oh, man, I am way behind in the chat because she is saying loving it, and that was probably from my beautiful singing happy birthday. It's just literally just caught up. Naja's in the house. I had 2 ads back to back. That ain't right. She's in the house today. Oh, man. I know the name now. Maybe they don't want me to say it. I always say Aussie. Shame on me. Stopping in to say hello. Good to see you, Lily. Stay for 15 minutes. It's good for my analytics if you don't click in and out and in and out. I was talking to somebody else about YouTube analytics. I love being here. I love answering questions. I love hanging out on Tuesday night. At the end of the show, sometimes I'll have 300 views. That means people are just coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it is so hard on the analytics. But it is what it is. Hit the thumbs up, gang, while you are listening. Thank you. I appreciate that, Terry. I'm going to back up just a little bit, make sure I didn't. I'm leaving this weather in the morning. Good for you. Oh, I bet you might be in Sedona. Are you still in Sedona? I don't mind just reporting. There you go. I've been living off-grid since January 3rd. I feel extremely confident in my knowledge of my electrical system. There you go. And that was the good thing. She was out in the desert. I was out in the desert. And we were able to, she was like, I don't seem to be charging like everybody else is. And there was a problem. So speaking up and saying something about it was perfect. Somebody said hi. Cheryl is in the house. Thank you, Cheryl. Tommy's in the house too. Tommy, if I haven't said hi. ad at 8:06, but don't expect another until 8:36. There you go. So YouTube has changed their ad thing, and it started about 3 weeks ago, and I feel like YouTube. This is my opinion, and I have honestly spent, I'm gonna say, 4 years at least trying to figure YouTube out because I feel like some of my videos should do better than they do. So I'm always trying to figure out thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like if I don't monetize my live stream, YouTube doesn't show it. It just sits there and does nothing. It's weird. It's weird. So, and I feel like there's times when I do put in a lot of work for some of my videos, like that puck light switch, the puck the puck light switch video took me a long time to make. It took me a long time to edit. And so I'm like, y'all are listening to commercials today. Diane is in Utah. Utah. My profile picture now has me and Tootsie. Oh, yay. I hate the ad thing. They do 30 seconds of ads now and no ability to skip until after that. I understand they stink. I hate it. But I feel like when I don't monetize my stuff, I feel like YouTube just like it's sitting in the bottom of a barrel. And I feel like most of the people here know that I try to work hard to get content up and to share. And sometimes, like our Tuesday live streams, I may not have the answer to your question, but somebody in the chat may have the answer, or somebody in the chat may ask a question that you didn't even know that you didn't know. So I feel like a question or a 30-second every now and then is is kind of worth it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I was gonna ask you guys a question, and totally I was gonna make a list of questions for you guys because we have the other day I had 8 vans here. Now I'm gonna say, besides my Patreon meetup here, that's the most vans I've had here at one time on a business necessity. It's been crazy here. So but Sean and I are, I'm just telling you, it's like we took a break from one project, focused on another project. Now we're back to the other. So breaking up that monotonous, it really was nice. We talked about that today. We celebrated over pizza today. Oh, I'm okay with a few ads for this hangout and knowledge. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Very nice of you. Or spend $13.99 a month on YouTube to go to ad free. Absolutely. I have ad free because I spend a lot of time on YouTube, not only for my own content, but you guys can't imagine how many videos people will send me and say, can you watch this video and tell me what you think? And it's 27 minutes long, but yeah, it's I don't know. YouTube will get you coming and going. They'll get you coming and going. Oh man. So guys, I'll ask you guys a question. I was working on a van. Patricia, if your ears are burning, they should be. I was working on a van and I thought, you know what? I don't like the looks of the metal rails. They're fine. The comforter's probably going to cover them. But as a craftswoman, I thought, I'm going to put a trim on that and hide it. So I had a long board, probably 8 foot long, and I just ripped the 2 pieces off that I needed. Now, when someone in construction says rip, that means long ways, all the way down. If someone says I cut it, that's a cross cut. So I ripped these boards all the way down, 2 of them, and there was a knot right in the middle. And I thought, man, that looks so cool. So I cut a little bit off of one end. I cut a little bit off of another end so that that knot would not be dead center, but kind of in that middle third. And then I did more work for a different client. And we were like, well, how about this piece? No, I don't like those knots. And I thought that was incredible, because what if my other client doesn't like knots? I didn't even think about that. I assumed because it was a knot, it told a story. The tree told a little bit about the tree, maybe, or whatever. Like I'm Obi-Wan with the birch. Is that Obi-Wan? Who is that? Yoda. I'm Yoda with the birch. And like that knot, how can we get that in the right spot? And I'm cutting to make it work. And someone else says, I want this piece because there's no knots. And when I'm sitting here and that's what I'm looking at, 70 whatever percent of the time I'm in my van, that's what I want to see. And I thought, shame on me, because I assumed that everybody, would like that. And it is 100%, it's 100% a personality thing. So I feel like we were also talking about shades of polyurethane, and we like to do a semi-gloss, easy to clean, blah blah blah. And we're like, well, they're all easy to clean. It's the sheen, it's the appearance that makes it different. Some are real shiny, some are just, like and I never really thought about it. So let's see here. I love the knots, garlic knots. Now I'm gonna have to go out and look for the knots. It was put with care. I'm glad that you aren't a dentist. You would get videos of mouths. I would. Oh, I pay for other services, Hulu, Max. So I pay the piper, watch the ads. Yep. I will tell you guys, going back to that, I do CQQQ. Thank you, whoever put that. I'm gonna go back up. The people that are on the Prime, the like YouTube Prime, I get a little kickback from that too. So when you watch the ads, I get a little bit of kickback. When you do the Prime, I get a little bit of kickback. How long do you recommend solar extension cables from the panels to the power station should be? That is a good question. So if you have a Ram ProMaster 136, it's going to be a different length than if you have a Ram ProMaster 159 extended. So I would get, and I just happen to like, because they're good quality cables, they come with everything that you need. I happen to use the Bouge RV extension cables. If I had a Ram ProMaster 136 here, I would get probably the 25 foot cables. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. If I had the 159 Ram ProMaster extended, I would get the 35 foot cables. I think they're 35 and 25 is what I get. Now, there is a little bit that you cut off, but I promise you, you do not want to not have enough cable. So here's the thing that you don't think about. Your solar shroud, your solar hood in the back of the van typically comes through the roof. So the wires have to come all the way back to that. Now you'll see RVs bring them through the middle of their RVs, because that's where, like, the air conditioner, the fan, and they can route them through there. Vans are there's no penetration through the roof on a Transit. There's no penetration through the roof on a Ram. All the all the solar is put up there without putting holes in the roof except for the shroud. I do that in the back, the less wind resistance, rain, it's good spot. I bring it right down that pillar to the battery box. So if your panels are connected in series, one of your cables have to run from the very front panel 100 and 13 feet, 13 feet to the back, 6 or 7 feet down. So now you're at 20. And that's if you haven't, done any zip tying or anything. That's just a straight shot. I zip tie mine out of the way, so that's a little bit longer. And then to your battery system. I typically, on the black cable, I put the black cable up front. I bring it all the way back. So obviously, I'm cutting off a little bit of black, and then I'm cutting off a longer amount of red because the red connects in the back here if they're in series, and bring them through the roof. And you do not want to have to splice your cables. So you could probably get away between 25 feet. I do not ever want any splices, and I always give them a loop inside the RV here, a loop, so that if their MC4s ever break, if anything, if they ever need to put a portable panel and they want to, stretch them things out the back door, they've got a good loop of cable to do that with. And then I put my connectors on. Now, what I do, because I don't like the red cable hanging off the back of the van, is before I screw everything down, I put black electrical tape around the red cable. So when you're looking at the back of the van, you just see black. So, all right. Let me see if I can get caught up now. I like knots and live edge. I love my live edge. Hey, gang, happy Tuesday. Good to see you, Charlie Grace. Knots look busy to me, so I want minimal knots or none at all. And that is exactly how my other friend was saying. And that's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's like you just don't know. Deb Long is in the house. Oh, Deb, I about had to torch that sage yesterday. I had a rough day yesterday. I am not lying. You cannot make that up. During my build, we discussed the knots. Yep. And that was good. Could I run a gasoline Webasto on a power station? I'm trying to sort out what power I need for heating and cooling. These are not negotiables. I can't chase 70 degrees. Okay, you can, yes, run a Webasto heater off of a Bluetti, as long as you have one that can manage it. I would say a 2,000 watt hour or higher. I would not get a like the AC 180, the EB 70, all those littler, some of the smaller power banks, the 200L, 200P or greater. And you have to remember, anything that produces heat takes a lot of power. And I'm going to tell you guys, me and Lynn were talking about it, and you don't know what you don't know until you know. Ask Zeb. When you have like a Webasto or a Velvet or a S-Bar or a Chinese, and you put your thermostat on 68 degrees, it's going to frequently cycle. Every time a unit kicks on, it has to build itself up. Like your refrigerator, every time that compressor has to kick on, there is a huge surge of power to get that started back up, cooled back down. Once it hits a certain temperature, it kind of cycles easy and then it shuts off. And then 10 minutes later, because vans are drafty, it cycles back on. So what you really need to do in van life, in my opinion, is turn your heater on high, get it warm, like almost uncomfortably warm. Let it shut back down. Go to bed, do your thing. 2 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and it's like, it's cold in here. Turn it back on, heat it up in here, turn it back on. It honestly takes minutes, like a handful, just not 10, of a heater cycling good for your van to heat back up. So imagine you take a little surge at 10, you take a little surge at 2, you take a surge at 6 in the morning. Maybe you're just going to stay awake, let it cycle a little bit, depending on how much power you got back. But if you let it cycle on and off all night long and you're boondocking, it's going to take a large amount of power throughout the night from your system. It's okay if you're driving the next day and you're going to recharge, or if the UV rays are going to be nice the next day, but the thermostat setting, it builds up soot because it's not cycling hot for 30 minutes at a time, because you'll cook yourself out of your van. So I recommend on, heat it up, turn it back off. Honestly, Chrome did probably the best video that I've seen on it, on how to properly work those. He doesn't talk about power, but he does talk about soot buildup. So do you have to seal all wood, for example, cedar, tongue and groove on the walls and sealing? Pros, cons, question. So I've only used cedar on one build. It was my own. I do not seal cedar because cedar is one of those types of woods that it's almost like hydrophobic. It does okay with moisture. The reason why I don't use cedar I use cedar in Kathy's build, the very, very, very first volunteer van I did. The reason why I don't use cedar on like the ceiling in that is because it's real thin. What I get here is real thin, or they're fence posts. Now, if you're ripping down some fence posts and you want to put them on the ceiling, do it. Zero problems. Kathy's got them. Her van still does good. The cedar that you typically find is made for like closets or inside those old shift robes and that, because the smell really helps keep the insects away. So you don't treat typically cedar. I'm not saying that years down the road, it's all gray, whatever. You want to do something to it, paint it. You do you, paint it. But as far as sealing wood like this, we seal it here at the shop. I put a primer on everything that touches metal, on the floor, the furring strips, the walls. The back sides of all my wood has primer. And if somebody is doing the polyurethane, a lot of times it's easier just to roll that polyurethane, boom, 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 it's done. And so that's what I do. No. Burn the sage. I know. Goodness gracious. Yesterday, I could have about torched that whole darn thing. I was done. I was so done. Oh, hey, everyone. Late night. Good to see you, Johnny. Johnny Lightning. She doesn't have the sign behind her in her van. It's in my office. I love being out here in the van. And I'll tell you that probably the number one reason. Look at that. She loves that. So I kind of like, you're in the shop all day long, except I'm sitting on my little collapsible plastic chair that Patty Augustine got me, and I love it. It's perfect height, but my butt is bony. Y'all know I ain't got no butt. So get a 12-volt heated mattress pad. I like the heated blankets. Some people do have the heated mattress pads. I don't know how many watts that they take an hour. My heating blanket takes 48. It's right at the foot of my bed, and I am super easy able to unplug that when I'm nice and toasty. And then in the middle of the night, if I get cold again and I want to plug it back in, it is perfect. And I will tell you, at 48 watts an hour on the way home from Arizona, if Sean wouldn't have given me that other Mr. Buddy heater and I didn't have my electric blanket, it was -1 in northern Texas on my way home. It was not fun. It was not fun. I finally get rid of my cycle and now have to worry about it again. I don't. We're so far into this. I don't even know what we're talking about here. I almost need to like. Oh, does the XT90 hack from power station to fuse panel work on the EcoFlow, or do I need another cable or extension? Okay, the EcoFlow uses the Anderson connector. It is red and black. It works. It will work the same on the fuse block. Now, when you're talking about XT90, XT90 is what Blue Eddy used to use when that video was created. I think that's from either 2020. I think it's 2020. Everything now is XT60. Save yourself a lot of headache and get an XT60. Now, if you have the EcoFlow, it has, I'm pretty sure it has the Anderson connector. The two, I have wired the California ladies, the other California lady. I feel like California people just love that EcoFlow. No, I'm kidding. It was the Anderson, and Anderson is the red and black, and a lot of things, solar panels, they're either XT60 or Anderson. Now, guys, I will not sell them because I'm not going to pay the taxes to sell stuff in the state of Missouri. But if you need a cable with Anderson to XT60 male or XT60 female, and you cannot find one on Amazon, it takes me nothing to make one. I'll tell you how that is really possible with the Anderson, because Blue Eddy, when I send off for cables, it comes with that Anderson connector. Matter of fact, I think the cable that I get for my fuse blocks come with that Anderson connector. So I run my S-bar with my AC 200 Max, but I don't have anything else running at the same time. So, and you can, but you have to remember, when these heaters kick on, they will use a surge of power. It is typically close or in excess of 10 amps. So if you're using a cigarette lighter plug in your power bank, that 10 amps could max out. Now, here's the good thing about these power banks. Power banks will let you take a surge of power all of a sudden, like a compressor kicks on, as long as it's not for 5-10 minutes at a time. It'll run for 1-2 click. It's going to shut off, 30, 60, 90 seconds, depending on your power bank. That 10 amps is just the startup. That's why you've probably heard of people putting a soft start on their air conditioner, because it doesn't take that big surge of power trying to start, overamping your system. So the only problem with this, because I just had a client reach out, not a client, I had one of you guys reach out to me and says, my builder won't do it, and it can be done. Lesson Bernadette has it. I've got 5 or 6 velvet heaters out there that have it, and you can do it too. Cedar will come mostly from Canada, 2 major tariffs. Yep. I've seen the Chrome video and watched it again. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, winter's almost over, okay? If you have any kind of heater, Espar, Webasto, Velvet, Chinese Diesel, Vivor, I don't care what kind of heater you have. Open up your doors. Turn that heater on. Turn it on high. Like set it at 94 degrees and burn the soot that has been building up out of your heater. Open up the doors, burn that soot off. Let it run for 20 minutes or so. And this summer, every now and then, kick that baby back on. Let it run for a little bit. So I did cedar, but I find the wood is too soft and thin. That's what I'm saying. It's thin. I'm going to redo mine. It even shrunk a little bit. It does. And I'm going to say that there's a lot of wood that'll do that. If it's kiln dried, most of the time it doesn't too bad. But it will shrink a bit. Most of the time we get our wood from an indoor supplier and it's pretty dry. But I do have a ceiling out there that the lady has a couple of. She's like, it just like, hairline cracks in her tongue and groove. And that's the wood. That is the wood. The one thing I loved about building a log home is for the first several years when it was put together, we would listen at night and the wood, it's called checking, and the wood will check and it's literally drying and cracking. And if it's on the outside, if it's on a downward, or its crack is up and water can get in there, that's bad. We fill those in. But if it's on the underside and that, it's not so serious. So yeah, so yep. Question. Discovered a leak. Was at the truck wash and they pressure washed. Heard water in my van. Yikes. Seems the door panel behind the driver's seat isn't sealed. Boom, boom, boom. Who has heard me say that? You don't have a door on your passenger, right behind your driver's seat? It's your grommets. So the Ford Transit, unfortunately, is notorious for their plastic on the driver's side. I'm telling you, it's a thing. On the driver's side, the grommets come through. They leak. Now, with that being said, if your build is already done, these vans are designed to get rid of moisture on that outer wall. There's holes in the bottom. They're all plugged with little rubber gaskets, but it does get through. And it is condensation drains. So if that is draining, it is moisture. Hopefully you have a hydrophobic insulation behind there. But it is where it's coming from. I am sorry to say. I have had to seal several of those. We even have it on video. And I was like, Sean, I think it's on Lynn's build. On her very first video that I did on Lynn's build. Because I had a patient. I had a client come and she didn't know it, and her little channels had standing water in them. So, Steve and Oki in the house saying hi to everybody. Good to see you, Steve. Steve got the Starlink Mini mobile, attached it to the top of his Jeep. Not a permanent attachment. And he did a stream in a very, 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 where you wouldn't expect to get Wi-Fi really that well, that you could stream, maybe send some messages, but not do a live stream. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. $45 for my blanket. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a cushion for mine in my truck for when I had to sit on it for a long period. Absolutely. Yep, I need to do that. Do they make heated cushions? I know. Wouldn't that be so good? Just got my second ad. Oh, I was supposed to quit talking. I was supposed to quit talking. Sorry, guys. Um, Good to know stock advice. Is the primer to stop mold rot in the wood? It is not to stop it. It is to completely prevent it. I do have a pillow. I'll put a cushion on my behind. It is not to stop the mold. It is to prevent the mold. I'm gonna sit on a cushion. That's a little better. A little higher too. So put that primer on. Do your due diligence and put the extra elbow grease in, and you will like it. I'm gonna tell you guys this. So now I do this because I'm a builder, and people are paying me to make sure that they don't have problems down the road. I gutted my van. It was together for 4 years. I didn't put an ounce of primer on it, an ounce of sealer on it. No marine adhesive. It was a heck of a time dismantling this thing. And I had mildew in one place, mold in one place. And it's because that window had leaked. I assumed that it had leaked, and it created an issue. And honestly, guys, like I could smell, I was like, I feel like I smell mold. You mean start the van up and let it run and burn? No. Or do you mean the separate heater that you might have? Absolutely. Whether it's a Webasto, Espar, Velvet, Chinese diesel heater, whatever you have, burn the soot off of your heater. Yep. Your van is good to go. Yep. Talking about heaters. She recommends a high heat and burn off the soot. You guys are good listeners. Look at you. Picking up the slack for me. Lisa saying hello. Good to see you. It's so cool. You guys are answering the question. You guys rock. We'll look for Lynn's video. Unfortunately. Now, if there's a wall already up behind there, you could maybe take that panel off from the outside and put some silicone or lap sealant or something around there, and then put that panel back on. And I think that would be a whole lot easier than taking a wall out. That's what I would do. We're still waiting to hear back. Lippert. Oh man. I know somebody else that has a Lippert axle that had an issue. Actually, 2 people. But they are not on trailers. They are on fifth wheels. I hope they can take care of it. Absolutely. That stinks. Guys, if you're a channel member, if you're a Patreon member, I appreciate all the extra that you guys do for the channel, supporting the channel. Several new Patreons out of last 2 weeks ago. I appreciate you guys. If you're new to Patreon, next Sunday will be the first Sunday in April. This is not an April Fool's joke. And we will be doing our Patreon Zoom. Bring your questions, hang out, and there's going to be a name missing from this. There's a couple names missing from that. I just noticed that was March's list, and so if you're not on that list, you're already on there now. I just got to upload it to StreamYard. Was wondering if I could do expanding foam, fine point along the top of the panel on the outside, I would 100% not do expanding foam. It is a hot mess, and that panel on the outside of your van, although you can like knock on it and it sounds pretty hard, if you put expanding foam in behind that, that expanding foam is going to push that panel away from the van, allowing more water to get back in there. You would be more beneficial to take that panel off. You could put some weather, that black like weather stripping or something on the top of that, like what we do for our windows. But honestly, if the only part of that panel that has access to the inside of the van are those grommets. So if you take that panel off, glob a bunch of silicone or whatever around that access point, pop it back on, let it dry, your problem is probably going to be resolved. The other thing is that those panels on the side of the van, you know, when you are washing your van or whatever, just don't directly spray. That's high pressure water getting in behind there. So, but I definitely wouldn't do expanding foam if you can help it. It is very flammable. It's very flammable. But again, that expanding foam, it works in such high pressure areas because people put it in their window and door gaps in their homes. It's designed to really expand, and just a little, it's going to stay in one little area instead of and push that area out instead of just expanding out. And then, even if you held that plastic, the grommets, like say the plastic's that big, the grommets are in the middle. The grommets are around the middle. So watch that video, look at where they're at. I would just, and you can take it, like you can even take it to the Ford dealer and say, I'm trying to get this panel off and can't. They'll probably pop it off for you. You can silicone them, put it right back on. Let's see here. I have to watch your installation video again. Have you changed your mind on the best installation to use? I know not to use expanding foam. Yeah. So I'll tell you, I haven't. I like the 3M Thinsulate because it's easy to put up, for one. It is very, like, it stays in place. I just had a client leave with her van. She won't be back till August. Her insulation, it's probably not going to move. It just stays put. And I love Havelock wool. But after seeing my walls settle, I just feel like in the walls, the ceiling is fine, the floor is fine, shoving it in all these ribs up in the attic, fine. The walls where it settles, I just didn't have good luck with it. People use it. But I did watch a video today, and they had it in their back doors, and it's a magnetic cover. He took it down, and he really had it piled in there. And I think they do that because if they don't, it's going to settle. So with that being said, you are getting like double the insulation. So Havelock wool is expensive. They are both hydrophobic. They are both, like, it's almost impossible to light them on fire. They really just melt. Like don't do it. But if you put heat on plastic, it'll just shrivel up. That's what Havelock wool and Thinsulate tries to do. Whereas rigid foam, pink, purple, white, silver, it catches fire and it puts off black, like, unbelievable fumes. And the spray foam insulation does that as well. Now, with that being said, the only reason I don't do the expanding foam in the vans, and because of the flammability, the water, is that it doesn't know when to quit expanding, and it will push out on your walls. You see people use spray foam insulation on their houses. on their shops. It's perfect. It's perfect for those kind of things. Don't worry about not using it on your windows. Room overflowing with van build parts waiting for the weather to break in Grand Rapids. How cool. How cool. I have seen horrible bulges on the outside of vans from people expanding foam the wrong way. Guys, look it up. Look it up. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. How do you wash the underside of your van, especially when dealing with salty roads from the Midwest? It is, I know. I'll tell you, I had you know how you can go to Flying J and they wash like semis? That's how I had mine washed, because you gotta lay down and spray underneath there. So I really don't drive my van on the salty roads. When the weather's bad, I'm either not in Missouri or I am parked. So I cannot remember the last time I drove Valentine's Day in snow. I did on Valentine's Day. But yeah. So yeah, unfortunately you got to go to a car wash because the car washes that you pull in and it sprays the bottom of your vans. We can't do that. I can't do that. I'm 9'3". So yep. Use a lawn sprinkler on the underside of your van. Interesting. Honestly, think about it. If it's one of those ones that either goes in a circle or oscillates, I mean, heck, that's not a bad idea. I'm in a snow zone. Yeah. Is one box of Kilmat enough for a 136 wheelbase? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because if you watch, I put up just a short video the other day, and it's something like, I don't know. I don't even know what the title is, but you can see the Kilmat in that van, how we put it up. A 136 wheelbase, one box, 36 count. If it's a 36 count, it's enough. The box is about 2 inches thick. They're like 11 by 14 sheets, something like that. That's enough. My daughter lives in Grand Rapids. I live on the other side in the Thumb. Oh, cool. Cool. You guys are going to get in our commercial. We'll take, please pause for our, what is that? Commercial? What is that? We'll take a moment to pause for our, what? Oh my goodness. I have some extra Kilmat that can go on the free table at your meetup this fall. That's incredible. Honestly, bring it down to the shop because I'll trade you a little labor. We people come all the time and we need Kilmat. We plug holes. If it goes on the free table, it's going to be gone in about 2 seconds. No. I would let somebody else need it. Take it. Station identification. Not till 9:06. Look at all these old people in here. Station identity. They got it right off the bat. I'm kidding. The rest of the program will proceed without commercial interruption. Night, Tim. That's right. Commercial break, otherwise known as potty break. Yup. Let me know what to order for the light that scares mice away. You know what? We got some pouches, and I do have lights on underneath my van. I can do that. I sent you an email to call me, and I didn't get a call. So if you want to call me in the morning, we can talk on the phone about your water too. I know you're going to be hitting the road soon. We got to get you done before you hit the road. That reminds me, when is your meetup? September. It's like September 19th, 20th, and 21st, I think. And I'll tell you guys, like all the electrical sites are taken. They're now, if you need a power bank charged, we'll charge your power bank. We'll get you the power that you need to charge. But if you have an air conditioner and you want to be on a power site, they are the power sites for like AC units all day long, blah, 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 they're gone. I have premium, so no commercials for me. Me too. Me too. Last question. Some insurance companies only insure if the van is professional. So I assume Midwest van builders will qualify. I have never had a client that could not get their van insured. I have had out of the 20 builds, I have had to give 4 appraisals, which is no issue at all. Most of my clients, I offer them anyway. I say, hey, you need an appraisal, and I give it to them. So I have never had a van that could not be insured. Where are you going to say you can use kill mat for small holes? Were you? Yes. Yep. Kill mat for the small holes. Absolutely. Be interested in that mice light too. Hey Dale, you remember out at Quartzsite, me and Sean were putting undermount lights underneath everybody's vans? That's what we use. Mice don't like red for whatever reason. They really can't see color, but whatever red does, it feels like an intruder to them. So they tend to not like it. With that being said, you can, on an occasion, still get a mouse in your van, especially if your cat brings it in. I have not told my insurance the van is a camper. Honestly, the only reason that you would need to even, I think, do that is if you had, like my clients, they've got a lot of money in their build. And if they want that replaced, their insurance company needs to know that they've got it. So most insurance companies will take the client's word for it or my appraisal, and it's like, oh, you've got $37,000 in your build. Here's a rider, whatever they do, for $37,000. So I'm still soaking since last week's catch up about the Blue Eddy prices there and here. Oh man, so send me the cost prices. That's crazy. It's crazy. We want to send you one. Like, I feel like I could ship it to you cheaper than that. Man, I could put it on a boat and get it to you. I think the lights have to be strobe. Mine are just on solid right now. Maybe I'll change that. Thanks. I'll put it on my calendar. Absolutely. Good night, Christine. Guys, if you don't have any other questions, we'll call it. It's 9:03. You guys are going to get a commercial pretty soon. I'm going to go put one more coat of polyurethane on Lenny's cabinets. She's got some overhead cabinets. I'm going to go put her cabinets up. If you guys were wanting to know, I think 10 count, want to know how I make my cabinets, you're going to want to be on the channel Sunday, 4:45 for my premiere, 4:45 Sunday Central, and see how I make these, because I did a video before, but because you guys come spend Tuesday nights with us, we're shooting it again. And I put in a converter today. We're going to be uploading that. I'm literally just waiting for a haircut. See that gray? My goodness. All right, guys, before I say goodnight, we got to say something about food or sugar or candy. And I may or may not have been given a box of Thin Mints. It lasted over 7 days, but they're gone. Say goodbye to the Thin Mints. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope I got to your questions. If you have a question, 10 count, if you're getting ready to build out, please don't hesitate. Send me an email. I don't mind answering you guys lunchtime for me now. I hope you're eating pizza or something good. Take care, guys. Deb Long, if you go anywhere this spring, come and see us. We would love to see you. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you night, Maddie.